What's going on, everybody? Benji Kaiser here today, and we're talking about the Christmas computer buying guide. And so if you come to this video, we're getting around Christmas time and you're wondering, all right, what computer should I get come Christmas for my relative, for my son, for my daughter, for my parent, whatever. Well, I'm gonna walk into Best Buy right now and I'm gonna show you basically how to pick out a good computer for whatever needs you may have. Let's jump on in there right now.
Younger and smarter, not questionable. I'm dirty and lazy, that is all I know. I long for a savior, for a western wind.
All right, so we're back from Best Buy, and I wanted to take some time to think through the different computers that we saw and really talk about how to pick the best computer for you. So the best laptop buying guide for 2018. What are your needs? That's really the first question that we're going to get into is, are you creative? So are you a graphic designer, or are you a video editor or an illustrator, or are you somebody who's into gaming, so you need a good gaming laptop? Maybe you're off to college, you need to make sure that you have all the needs necessary for a college-bound computer. Maybe you're past college, maybe you're a businessman or a businesswoman, and this computer really is just used for emails, it's used for writing docs, and simple basic tasks along those lines. You don't need a lot of processing power. So let's jump into those details right now. But before we do, if you've yet to subscribe to this channel, I highly recommend doing so. Put out videos, mainly in the graphic design industry, but a lot of tech tips and tools about helping you out with your computer needs. So first, you have to consider what operating system do you feel most comfortable in. Many people prefer Mac OS, while a great majority of the world uses the Windows operating system. Newly released in the past decade has been the Chromebook operating system by Google, and that's a very good one for students as well. I personally have used Mac OS and Windows OS for most of my life. For many years I used Mac, but now I'm a Windows-based guy, so I have a very good familiarity on both of the operating systems. My recommendation is whatever you feel most comfortable on is the computer you should pursue. There are differences in the operating systems. For instance, PCs and Windows-based computers are better for gaming, whereas Macs are better for more task-oriented things. So just a little bit of perspective there. What size computer do you need? Now that's something that you have to really consider, because are you somebody who's on the go a lot? Maybe you want a 13-inch to a 15-inch. Or if you're somebody who's often gaming, often has it in their room, maybe you could do a 17-inch computer that has less travel capabilities. Really think about your day-to-day life, what would fit your needs best, and that'll help you decide which computer is right for you. All right, before we jump into my laptop recommendations, and if you're interested in those right off the bat, those are in the description below. You can check those out, and if you use one of those links, it is an affiliate link, and that will give me a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. And that is what keeps this channel running, and I'm very appreciative of you when you use those links. Now, as we jump into the specific laptop recommendations I have, we're going to talk about some of the specs to make sure you understand why these computers are for specific uses. First and foremost is the RAM. So the RAM memory of the computer is what runs the tasks and applications that you are doing. So say for instance you have your email browser up, you have a Word document up, and you're surfing the internet all at the same time. That uses a certain amount of RAM. For me as a graphic designer, I use certain tools like Photoshop or Premiere Pro for video editing, or even InDesign for page layout. And what these do is they pull away from my memory. So the more memory, the more RAM I have in my computer, the more efficient each of those tasks are run. My computer will not slow down as much as if I have more RAM. So for me, 16 gigs of RAM is a good amount of RAM as a graphic designer. Consider that for a gamer. The same thing is they're using a lot of memory to run those games. So 16 gigs of RAM is a really good amount to be running all the applications that they're using while gaming. If you're somebody who's in college or a businessman who's simply shooting emails and writing Word docs, you really only need about 8 gigs of RAM. That should be plenty for you to do the tasks that are necessary to your day-to-day life. The processor is another thing that's very important. The reason being is it's like the brain of your computer. It's what tells the fan to turn on, it's what tells the RAM to be used, it tells the battery how to optimize the screen brightness. Just anything you do is run through the processor. So what you want with the processor is, 4 cores of processing, and what that allows the computer to do is run more efficiently. So to give you a little general basic, then i3, the i5, and the i7 are your standard processors in most computers. The i5 will be plenty if you're a businessman writing Word documents, sending emails, that sort of thing. Even if you're doing basic graphic design, you can get away with the i5 and gaming that's not too intensive. Now, as you work up into more advanced graphic design and video editing and using more advanced applications, you are going to want to move into the i7 processor. That'll just give you more power, more thinking ability for your computer to run the programs and the applications necessary to complete your tasks. Another important aspect to your computer is the hard drive. This is actually very important. This is where all your files are stored. So there's two hard drive styles, a solid state hard drive and a standard hard drive. The difference between the two is the solid state hard drive has no moving parts and the standard hard drive has moving parts. It's an older version of the hard drive. Now, the benefit of a solid state hard drive is reliability and speed. So because of no moving parts in the solid state hard drive, it boots up your applications faster, you have faster saving times, you have faster load times of your files. Also, with no moving parts, your hard drive is going to be far more reliable. It's going to be far less likely that your hard drive would crash and you lose all your information. And lastly, something that's not super important unless you're doing gaming or video editing is the GPU, the graphics processing unit. And I'm just going to talk through that quickly. The GPU is what renders all of the things that come to your screen, or if you're in video editing, it also allows you to render video editing, saving, exporting, various things along those lines. So this is more for top level things. And I have specific videos about best computers for graphic designers, and you can check that out in the YouTube cards above or the description below if you want to get more details on that. And without further ado, we're going to jump into the top recommendations I have for you for laptops in 2018. The first one I'm going to recommend is the high-end gaming laptops. So what you want to consider in this is great graphics processing unit, solid RAM, and also a solid state hard drive, sometimes paired with a standard hard drive. Now, we have two models for the top recommendation. It is the MSI GS65 and the MSI GS63. Now, there are a few important differences between the GS63 and the GS65. The GS63 has a little bit thicker body, it has a larger keyboard, and it has room for both a solid state hard drive and a standard hard drive. So what that means is you would save all of your files on the standard hard drive, while the solid state hard drive helps with faster load times of the applications, faster boot up time of your computer, and it will run more smoothly. So this is very good because you have the benefits of a solid state hard drive as well as the standard capacity of 1 terabyte of standard hard drive, which is really nice. Then you move over to the GS65 Thin. What that is it is a very thin, high quality laptop, but it only has solid state hard drive capabilities. This is good if you're kind of more on the go and you want a nice light laptop you can put in your backpack and be on the move. So those are the two high-end laptops for gaming. Next is the mid-range laptop. This is the HP Omen. It has the i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and the GTX 1060 graphics processing unit. This is a very well-equipped computer, and it's about $1,200 to $1,500 depending on the options that you get. It is a little bit thicker computer, so it's not as light, not as travel-worthy, but still a great laptop to take around town. Just know it's not the thinnest. Now we're going to jump into the budget gaming laptop. This is the Acer Nitro 5. It's about $800 to $900. Very good computer for gaming if you're on a budget, and the specs are well equipped. The Nitro has the i5 7th generation processor. It has 16 gigs of RAM, a GTX 1050 graphics processing unit, and the solid state / standard hard drive. So this allows you, again, to get those fast load times, but also have a lot of storage space for all your files when you're gaming. So those are our gaming laptops. We're gonna now move into the graphic design laptops. These are ones, if you're creative, if you're a video editor, if you're an illustrator, these would be the laptops for you. The first recommendation I have is the Dell XPS 15. This laptop is one I've personally owned. It comes with the i7 8th generation processor, comes with the GTX 1050 graphics processing unit, and it's also a solid state hard drive. So it's a very well equipped computer. And one of the things I love about it the most is it has fantastic build quality. It has an all aluminum exterior as well as a carbon fiber key deck, which is very nice. It's very durable. It is very comparative to the MacBook Pro. Now the MacBook Pro is a very good graphic design laptop as well. It has the i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and a Radeon 560 graphics processing unit. These also come with solid state hard drives, and Apple is known for incredible build quality. Again, these laptops are in the description below, so if you want to know the exact ones I'm referring to, you can check out the links down there. As we move through the creative fields, I want to think more about Illustrators now. Let's think about the HP Spectre X360 as well as the Microsoft Surface Book 2. Two very good computers with extremely responsive touchscreens that come with pens that have been engineered phenomenally for illustrators. So before these computers came out, we were mainly working with Wacom tablets. And so if you know much about that, basically you would have a tablet that would sit on your desk and then it would be attached in your computer. You would take a pen and you would write on the tablet. As you write on the tablet, it would appear on the screen. Windows has totally eliminated the whole need for a Wacom tablet. You can now write directly on the screen and it has palm sensitivity and the pen is extremely responsive. When you push harder, it does a thicker stroke, and lighter, it does a thinner stroke. It's a fantastic feature that both of these computers have. Now, these two are highly recommended by me. I will tell you one thing though, the Surface Book 2s are a bit more expensive because they are more well equipped with specifications. They have a GTX 1060 processing unit, they have 16 gigs of RAM, they have the i7 processor and solid state hard drive. Also, probably one of the best battery lives on the market. They are rating this battery for 16 to 17 hours. Now, normally when they do battery life specs, they kind of rig it here and there by turning the brightness down and running low applications and things like that. But it comes with two batteries, one in the screen, which can disconnect and turn into a tablet, and one in the key deck. So this is a well-equipped computer. I highly recommend it. The Spectre X360 is also a great illustration computer because the pen is very responsive, just doesn't have as long a battery life, and the GPU isn't as well equipped. So those are my thoughts there on those two computers. Now, if you're interested in a budget graphic design laptop, I would highly recommend the HP Omen, which we just talked about a moment ago when discussing the gaming laptops. The next category I want to talk about is somewhat of a business/collegiate laptop. These are laptops where you're not going to be doing a lot of heavy gaming or maybe video editing or graphic design work. These are laptops that you're just going to school to maybe take notes, write papers, emails, etc. The first one I want to talk about is the HP Pavilion X360. So the 360 basically stands for that the screen can rotate all the way around back and forth. And this computer is well equipped for your collegiate or business needs. It is a far more simple laptop with an i3 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and a standard hard drive. So my only concern with this computer is that it does not have a solid state, which gives me a little bit concerns in the reliability of it. So that's going to be your bet if you feel confident in purchasing this computer. Moving up a little bit in specs and price is the Lenovo Yoga 730. Now, this computer is well equipped as far as having the solid state hard drive. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than the HP Pavilion, but you're going to have the reliability with the solid state hard drive. Along with the solid state hard drive, it comes with the i5 processor and 8 gigs of RAM, so plenty of power for your business/collegiate needs. Another great option for you in the Dell category is the Inspiron 7000 15-inch. This has the solid state hard drive, 8 gigs of RAM, the i5 processor. It also features the standard hard drive with 2 terabytes, so you can run your applications on that solid state and have plenty of storage space for all of your needs. Now, one thing I want to talk about as all of these computers are concerned in the budget range is that you need to consider what ports you will need on the side of your computer. So as you've seen as I feature these computers as I'm talking, you can see some have many ports and some have very few. So will you need to do presentations? Will you need an HDMI port in the side of your computer? Will you need space for thumb drives, for USB drives? Will you need to be able to plug your headphones in? Will you need Thunderbolt? So do these computers have the right ports that you need? And that's another way you can help your buying process is thinking about when you're using it, what your needs will be. And for all of you who love the Mac OS operating system, I have saved the MacBook for last. Now, the reason that this computer is great is because the operating system is so fluid. It makes a great collegiate or business laptop for writing emails, papers, making presentations. And so this has the Intel M-Core processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and a solid-state hard drive, so a well-equipped computer for your needs. Please let me know if you have any questions about these laptop recommendations. I wanted to give you a buyer's guide, but I also wanted to give you some products that you could just directly go to and know that this will be a good purchase. A lot of times we can get bogged down with all the different choices when we know only the settings. So having some choices has always been helpful for me, so I hope this video has helped you. My name is Benji Kaiser of BenjiKaiser.com. I hope you've appreciated this video. If you have, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you here on the next episode.